Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Rich Latta here, back with another video. We just finished watching USC versus UConn. USC with the 2-point win on the road in Hartford, Connecticut. Big win for sure for them. Pretty interesting game overall. A lot of different things to take away from. This was perhaps the marquee game of the women's college basketball season. It for sure had all the hype going into it. They announced it months ago. It was one I had circled for a long time, and it didn't disappoint. Close down to the wire game, but throughout the game, it wasn't always as close as it looked. USC, came out really early on them, firing, defending. They were swarming everywhere, and quite frankly, like getting their shot falling against, a good team from the outside in a way that they had not previously done in games against like Ole Miss or Notre Dame. Very slow start for UConn, as like Paige just seemed like she just couldn't get it, going early on. And UConn really kind of struggled to, put points on the board. KK Arnold gave a lot of great energy throughout the game. Played much bigger than her box score says, but really kept them, kind of going in that first half. Ashlyn Shade made a couple shots, as well as, Sarah Strong, I thought was, played much to her name, very strong all throughout the game. And it really just kind of became, would UConn have enough time to essentially dig themselves out of the hole that they created, in that first half? And they almost did it. And it was, really a race against the clock. And the second half, USC kind of tensed up as far as like, the atmosphere. They were, a great crowd, and they were really wanting UConn to get into it. And then there was this one particular moment in the third quarter, I believe. Actually, no, it was the fourth quarter, where they were down 2, UConn, and Paige pulls up, and the whole building wants that three-pointer. And in my estimation, Paige seems like a very careful player. She goes out of her way to try to not overextend. She goes out of her way not to take games over. And in this part, they wanted the big superstar to be the big superstar. And she, to her credit, pulled the shot. It would have been, a really amazing moment if she would have made that shot. Unfortunately, she did not. And, she looked pretty deferential down the stretch to, some of her teammates. And really, at the end, Sarah Strong was the one that was, getting those shots, and just kind of awful execution down the stretch for UConn. You would think a Gino Auriemma coach team would be a bit stronger, in their execution, their end-of-game strategy. And for me, I've always kind of said UConn this year has no excuse. Paige Bueckers has no excuse. You're a national player of the year as a freshman. You're back as a fifth-year senior. National title or bust. We've seen, UConn lose to Notre Dame. We've now seen them lose on their home court to USC. This set a 2-point game, but this was a USC-controlled game for sure. Juju Watkins was excellent throughout the game. I believe she finished with 25, 5, and 6, if I'm not mistaken. And she was in the first half just putting all her moves on display, all her ways to attack defenses, fighting through double teams, and, just cooking people flat out, cooking Paige, hitting off the dribble, step backs, threes, and we kind of saw, some of her best tonight, I thought. And that was one thing, I was kind of concerned about, because I felt like the other times I've ever watched Juju Watkins, she is pounding the rock, taking the air out the ball, and everything comes to a stop. She did a much better job, I think, tonight, scoring a lot of her points within the flow of the offense, in quick decision, situations. And she made the best of, not getting ran down by the defense, not letting the defense move her off of where she wanted to be. Hit a lot of big shots, and, sealed the game kind of at the end with her aggressiveness on the offensive end. I think that offensive stretch for UConn in the third quarter, where the building was coming alive, and USC looks like it was, just kind of, blowing that huge lead. They were up 51-33, and then they cut it all the way down to 1. So UConn walked them down pretty comfortably. But when you do these like, you put yourself in a hole that far to begin with, it is tough to close out over the top. But they had their chances. Really, they did. And, I gotta say, I don't want to bury Paige Bueckers here. I don't. I thought it was admirable performance, but she's hailed as the queen of efficiency. And tonight she was 9 of 22 for 22 points. Lots of bricks. And I'm not necessarily worried about the stats here. What I was more worried about was looking like, she looked kind of frail out there. Like, she just doesn't look like someone to me that's going to be able to get proper separation from defenses on the next level. And also, when she's compared to somebody like Caitlin Clark, you put a defender on her and she's going to abuse the defender. Paige, she's kind of running the offense, moving off the dribble handoffs and kind of like not really with that aggression there. So looking at it with Paige, it's like I kind of wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of the dog in her, but I didn't see it tonight. And, maybe we will later in the season, but this was really a case of Sarah Strong really like carrying this team. And Sarah Strong was the person that damn near could have won the game for them. She missed the shot on the free throw line at the end and, missed the third one as well. But then she, Paige gets the offensive rebound, doesn't look to score really, flips it back out for a prayer three-pointer from Sarah Strong, like damn near from the logo. And, it was just a quick flip towards the basket. I thought, they had at least like a second or two there to where Paige could have just backed up and took the shot herself. Didn't happen. I think if you're Gino Auriemma, you were very frustrated with this game because your team is lackadaisical in the first half, dig themselves this hole, turn it up, and they be the team that they are. And then at the end, it's just sloppy. There was also another part with Kiki Iriafen where she was just showing why she's going to be, a top 3 pick in my estimation in the WNBA draft. Lots of great post moves, lots of, mid-range shots. And tonight is the best game that I've seen Juju and Kiki play together to where they were not doing the your turn, my turn thing. It was like, okay, it's time for me to, assert my will over this matchup here. And I thought the team really did a good job playing around them. Kennedy Smith was back for USC, who in my estimation is the glue for the team. Had a huge block on Ashlyn Shade, just cocked back and sent that thing to the motherland. Like, I was like, man, I really like her defensive presence. She's only a freshman. I can't wait to see kind of what her career turns into. It just seemed like USC was better prepared overall with every step of the way. They came out faster, they played with a certain confidence and swagger, and then UConn just like they showed up like it was just another game, it seemed like. And I think they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board if they want to be a serious national championship contender and really hang in with the best of the best, like a UCLA, like a South Carolina. And Notre Dame already put the beats on them. And USC like had not impressed me much, throughout much of this season so far. And tonight, stark difference for sure. So let's pull up the box score and all that. All right, we got it pulled up right here. So Kiki Iriafen with the 16, 11, and 6 on 8 of 19. Not the greatest shooting night, as I mentioned, but she definitely showed a lot of her skills and like what she's going to be capable of. And I do think she was a lot more impressive than her stat line. Juju, 25, 6, and 5, 9 of 16, 3 or 4 from 3. Pretty notable game for her, I'd say. She's probably going to have, different games where she's scoring 30 and 40 points, but these are the kind of games against high competition where I think matter a little bit more, especially like not for kind of like her, her college scoring records and stuff like that. Like, well, I'll throw that to the side for right now. I'm looking at more her long-term development and trajectory. As a team, they shot 56% from 3, by far a way better number than UConn, who only hit 26% from 3. That's a big difference there. Like I said, 2-point game, but this was USC in dominant control. Sarah Strong, 22, 13, and 5 on 8 of 15. 1 of 6 from 3. Had the big Hail Mary at the end. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. She makes 2 more free throws. Maybe we're talking about a different game. Had the chance to tie it at the end there. So she's going to, be kicking herself. But, she was their best player tonight. Paige did not look great. She only shot 2 of 8 from 3. And, looked passive. Looked like she could be moved off the spot, very easy. I worry to think about, like, how she's going to be at the next level. I just do. Like, for me, it's like, it's not this no-brainer, she should be the number 1 pick. It's like she's probably going to go number 1. So I just don't see her as someone like I've never seen before. It's like, okay, she's here. She's moving in, at a certain pace, but it's not blazing athleticism. It isn't like overarching skill to me. It's just, someone that is kind of robotic in, their movements. But, maybe I just need to watch her more. But Sarah Strong, I think, she's got a bright future. Only a freshman, and she's going to be the future of this team. And, they had that huge game the other week where each of them scored above 27, being Shade, Strong, and Bueckers. We did not see all those people tonight. So this was, kind of a letdown, I would say, for UConn at this. USC, I think you feel good if you, get out of there with the win. It's never easy flying to the East Coast playing. You got the time difference. You go home with the win. You're feeling great. They are going to have a wonderful plane ride back to sunny Southern California. But anyway, I don't know what to make of this long term for UConn, but no excuses, as I said. National championship or bust. I don't want to hear it. No excuses. Let's get it. But my name is Rich. I'm up out of here. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Support the merch, onelifetimeworldwide.com. You can get one of these shirts here. Get a hat. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.